What's up, YouTube? I'm thinking of doing something a little bit different today, doing a bit of a story time. I wanted to tell you guys about the time when somebody stole my entire album and performed live with it and released a couple of tracks on SoundCloud and, all over the internet under their own name, but just by sort of renaming some of the tracks that were on my album and performing my entire album live and stuff like that. So it probably seems like a serious topic, but to be honest with you, it's pretty lighthearted and a little bit humorous at some times. So I figured it'd be a cool story to tell you guys, about certain things to avoid when dealing with certain dodgy characters in the scene and stuff like that. And, sometimes these things aren't always a bad thing. And I'm going to sort of tell you guys why. So basically, for those who don't know about the story, who haven't been following me for that many years, I released a couple of albums quite a while ago on Ektoplazm. If you don't know Ektoplazm, it is an awesome resource for high-quality psytrance, and it's all free, so you get wave files of, all sorts of psytrance that's categorized into different genres and stuff like that. So, especially as a DJ, it's a great place to go and find, tracks that you might need to fill out a DJ set, and you've got certain tracks that you've bought and you need certain tracks in a certain style. So anyway, the music that's released on Ektoplazm is released under a sort of system called Creative Commons, and I'm not going to go too in depth about what that is, but the legalities of it are that you have to give credit in some form when you sort of recreate or use those snippets from those works. So essentially, I personally don't mind if anybody remixes the stuff and, does bootlegs and stuff like that. As long as they credit me with it, I wouldn't, take anybody to court or anything for it, but I just sort of would expect a little bit of decency in that regard. So anyway, I'd released this album and it did pretty well and I was pretty stoked with myself, but at the time, I wasn't aware that there was a DJ in Portugal that had downloaded all the WAV files of this entire album, and he figured he wanted to start a live project or something with my tracks. So he uploaded them onto SoundCloud, and the silly thing that I still can't quite understand is he renamed the sort of artist name, but he left the track names as they were on the album. So it became really easy to spot once it came to light. It just kind of shows you how some of these people don't really think too deep into it. They're just kind of trying to make a quick buck, and often it'll work for a couple of weeks, but that'll fizzle out, and eventually the kind of work that they put into it will find a way to reach your sort of viewer stream and your sort of fan base and stuff like that. Anyway, I'll explain. So a couple of friends of mine that I was chatting to on Facebook and stuff like that told me about this guy who was playing live sets using my album that I had released on Ektoplazm. And, when I started researching it, I found his SoundCloud, and, with all literally, there was no other tracks on it. It was just my entire album. All the track names were the same, but he had changed the artist name to what his name is. So I'm going to leave out his name and his artist name, because I'm pretty sure that if this video does kind of get quite a few views, he's going to try and strike it and take it down. Also, I think, what's done is done, and, he was an idiot about it, and I just feel that me sort of going out of my way to make it worse for him is just a little bit of a low blow. But anyway, so I confronted this guy in a Facebook message, obviously because he was in Portugal and I'm in South Africa. It's, there was a bit of a logistics problem there. And I basically said, listen, dude, you can't do this. You have to give me credit. Why not just play a DJ set and play all my tracks? And then when people ask, you just tell them that it's my tracks. It's not like people in the audience actually sit there with Shazam open, looking for what tracks are busy playing at that current moment and stuff. No, people are there to just have a party. And I think, and creating this kind of like dishonest vibe about your sort of musical project is just a terrible way to go about things to start with. And it's not going to last long as an artist. So anyway, I confronted this guy and I told him, you got to stop doing this. Why not just play DJ sets? More than welcome to use my music. It's released free and all this stuff. And his reply was literally 4 words. That's it. Okay, bro. no problem. And like, I was kind of confused because he didn't really resolve much in that answer, and it wasn't really the answer that I was kind of expecting. So I basically just took a screenshot of that and posted it onto my Facebook, and yeah, and it's safe to say that the internet took him to the cleaners. So overnight, I woke up the next day and there was just memes all over my Facebook timeline with this guy, and, you know, all sorts of weird, like, okay, no problem type memes, and, you know, completely destroyed this guy. I kind of felt bad for the guy, but at the same time, you know, what he was doing was completely dishonest. Any sort of bad publicity and stuff, he sort of deserved, but it created this kind of massive push in promotion to my glitch page on Facebook. So literally overnight, I gained his entire fan base that he had been building up over however long he had been trying to make it in the sort of music production scene and stuff like that. So it was something like 1,000 likes or close to that overnight, which was pretty crazy at the time. I think I was just over 1,000 likes. So the dude helped me double my exposure in a day. So on one hand, I was thinking, you know, it sucks what he was doing, but on the other hand, he created the biggest marketing campaign that my music project has ever seen. So I'm kind of thankful that the events took place the way they did, and I'm kind of thankful that, you know, there will always be the reference to my music, you know, on Ektoplazm to prove that the music was mine and it was out there first and all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like a really serious situation, but at the end of the day, I'm actually pretty stoked that it took place the way that it did. You know, like I said, I made connections with people all over the world that I probably never would have made without that sort of push in promotion that this guy made for me and stuff like that. I think what happens is I talk to a lot of sort of newcomers to the scene, and a lot of them are very worried to put their music out on free platforms and to represent themselves because they're scared of situations like this. But, you know, I find myself telling the story so many times that I figured it's probably a good idea to put it out in a video so that I don't have to keep retelling it. You know, you guys can just watch the video and, you know, you can hear the story firsthand. I think a lot of newcomers get bogged down by the fact that there are sort of, in South Africa, we call them skellums, but there are these dodgy characters in every scene that are going to try to take advantage of artists and that are going to try and make a quick buck and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, us as artists, we're in it for the long run. Whether it's going to take us, you know, 10, 20 years to reach that sort of ultimate goal that we want to get to as an artist, or whether we do it sort of overnight or something like that. I think the sort of key is to, you know, have fun and be creative in the art form. And it's pretty obvious when you can see these guys that are, you know, in it for a quick buck and stuff like that. And a few years later, after this whole event took place, it actually happened again with the same guy, with a different artist. Again, he worked questionably, I wouldn't say hard, but he put work in to boost somebody else's music career. And if he had just taken the time to watch some YouTube tutorials, to create some tracks, and to just have some fun in the art form, it would have just been so much better for him. So yeah, on one hand, this is a video to try and make those who maybe feel discouraged about releasing music for free and stuff like that even these bad situations end up with good results. And it's also a video to try and deter those who are thinking about being skellums. Just don't do it. It's not cool. You're going to be found out, and the little bit of effort that you did put in is not going to be worth it. You didn't build anything. So yeah. That's my story time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you dig this kind of thing. I'll try to do some more sort of interesting story time type videos. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time.